Good morning children. Welcome back to Maths class. Today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 4, circles. You have studied about circles in your previous classes. Let us recall that. What is a circle? Circle is the collection of all the points which are at a constant distance from a fixed point. This fixed point is called the center of the circle. Next is radius of the circle. Radius of a circle is the line joining from the center to any point on the circumference. So the line segment joining center to any point on the circumference of a circle is called radius. If you extend the radius to the opposite side, that will become diameter. So BA is the diameter. And diameter will be double the radius, or radius is half of the diameter. The next is chord. So what is a chord? A line segment joining two points on the circle. That is a chord. PQ is a chord. A line segment joining two points on the circumference of a circle. That is called a chord. Which is the biggest chord of the circle? That is the diameter. Diameter is also a chord. After chord, next arc. What is an arc? Arc is a part of the circle. If you mark 2 points, that is an arc. XY is an arc. Arc is the part of the circle. Next is the segment. PQ is a chord. This chord will divide the circle into 2 parts. Each part is called a segment. So what is a segment? Segment is the region bounded by a chord and the arc. So here there are 2 segments. The bigger segment is called major segment and the smaller one is called minor segment. Now let me draw the diameter of the circle. So this diameter will divide the circle into 2 equal parts. Each part is called a semicircle. So diameter is the biggest chord of the circle. Diameter will divide the circle into 2 equal parts. Each part is called a semicircle. Next is sector. What is a sector? Sector is the region between 2 radii and an arc. So this part is called sector. So sector is the region between 2 radii and an arc. So same way, here also there are 2 sectors. This is the minor sector and this is the major sector. And what is circumference of a circle? The total length of the circle is called circumference of a circle. Total length or perimeter of the circle is circumference of a circle. So radius, diameter, arc, segment and sector. These are the basic terms related to circle. Now, as I told you, this is a chord. What is a chord of a circle? Chord is a line segment which joins 2 points of the circle, or 2 points will be on the circumference. Now let me draw a straight line. See, this is a straight line. Name will be CD. This is a straight line which cuts the circle into 2 points. So a straight line which intersects a circle in 2 points, it is called secant of a circle. S-E-C-A-N-T. So what is a secant? Secant is a straight line which cuts the circle into 2 points. So what is the difference between a secant and a chord? Chord is a line segment. So you know the difference between a line and a line segment. Line means it can be extended on either side. There is no fixed measurement for a line. But line segment, we can measure it. It has a starting and ending point. So chord is a line segment which joins the circle within 2 points. Secant is a line which touches the circle in 2 points. Now I will draw another straight line. Let it be EF. See, this is a straight line which is touching the circle at 1 point. Let it be P. So this straight line which touching the circle at one point. This is called tangent. T-A-N-G-E-N-T, tangent. So what is a tangent? Tangent is a straight line which will touch the circle only at one point. So did you understand the difference between chord, secant and tangent? So what is a tangent? Tangent is a straight line which touches the circle at one point. Now we will learn a very simple theorem related to tangent. In your textbook, it is theorem 4.1, fourth chapter, first theorem. So the theorem says that in a circle, if we draw the tangent, radius and the tangent are perpendicular to each other. So we'll draw a tangent. AB is a tangent. Now from the center, we'll draw the radius. O is the center and let P is the point. OP is the radius. Here AB is the tangent. Tangent will be touching the circle at one point. The point at which the tangent touching the circle is called point of contact. So now we have to prove that the radius and the tangent at the point of contact are perpendicular. So whenever we will write a theorem, first we will write what is given or data. Given or data. What is given? Given that O is the center of the circle, AB is a tangent at the point P and OP is the radius. So O is the center of the circle. O is the center. AB is the tangent at P. AB is the tangent at P. OP is the radius. OP is the radius. So we wanted to prove that this radius is perpendicular to the tangent. So to prove OP perpendicular to AB. OP perpendicular to AB. To prove this OP perpendicular to AB, we need to know about another theorem and its converse. The theorem states that out of all the lines which are drawn from an external point to a given straight line, the perpendicular line is the smallest line or the shortest line. So here AB is a straight line, P is an external point. From P I have drawn 4 lines to the straight line AB. Out of all the lines, the PQ is the perpendicular line. Perpendicular line is the shortest line among all these lines. That is the theorem. We wanted to know the converse of this theorem. What is meant by converse? Already I told you. Converse means given will become to prove and to prove will become given. Just opposite. So here I told perpendicular is the least. Out of all the lines which are drawn to the given line from an external point, perpendicular is the least. Perpendicular is the smallest. Is the smallest line or the shortest line. So here when we say the converse of this theorem, we have to prove that out of all the lines which are drawn from an external point to a given line, the smallest line will be the perpendicular line. That is converse of this theorem. So here AB is a straight line, P is an external point. Here PQ is the shortest line or the smallest line and that will be perpendicular. That is converse. So this converse of this theorem we have to apply here to prove that radius and tangent are perpendicular. So what is converse? From an external point, if we draw any number of lines to a given line, the smallest line will be the perpendicular line that we are going to apply here. So now we will write the proof. So here proof is we have to mark 2 points on the line AB very close to P. So let me mark here C and here D. So we have to mark 2 points. In proof we have to write mark 2 points C and D on the line AB, which is very close to P. Now what we have to do is join C and D to O. That is join OC and OD. Join OC and OD. Now, see triangle OCD. This is a triangle OCD. In triangle OCD, as you know that OC will be larger or OP will be larger. Which is larger? See here, C is a point on the line AB. It is not on the circumference of the circle. So, definitely OC will be greater than the line OP. So, in triangle OCP, OC will be greater than OP. OC greater than OP. Did you know the reason? The reason is C is a point of AB. C is not on the circumference of the circle. So, definitely OC will be greater than OP. Now, we will consider the next triangle. In triangle ODP. In triangle ODP, which will be greater? Either OD will be greater or OP. OD. So, OD is greater than OP. So, tell me what is the reason? What is the reason? Whenever we will write a theorem, in proof, we have to write the statement and reason. What is the reason we will write? C and D are not on the circumference of the circle. They are on the straight line AB. That is the reason. Now, we learned the converse of the theorem says that the least one is the perpendicular. So, here we proved that OC is greater than OP, OD is greater than OP. So, than OC and OD, OP is the smallest line and the smallest line will be always perpendicular to the given line from an external point. So, here O is the external point, AB is the line. We had drawn 3 lines in which the shortest is the perpendicular line. Therefore, OP is perpendicular to AB. Radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So, once again I will repeat. AB is the tangent, P is the point of contact, OP is the radius of the circle. Given, we have to write O is the center, AB is the tangent, OP is the radius. We wanted to prove that OP is perpendicular to AB. To prove this, we will apply the converse of the theorem. That is, we will start with mark 2 points C and D on the line AB or on tangent AB, which is very close to the point P. First we will write in triangle OCP, OC will be greater than OP. Both the reason together we will write. Second triangle ODP, OD will be greater than OP. The reason is the points C and D are not on the circumference, they are on the straight line AB. Therefore, by converse, OP is perpendicular to AB. The shortest distance will be perpendicular to AB. Now, exercise 4.1, first question. How many tangents can a circle have? In a circle, how many tangents we can draw? How many tangents we can draw? Infinite number of tangents. Any point if you mark and if you draw a tangent, we can draw many number of tangents. See here, 1 point. Here we can draw a tangent. If you mark a point, here we can draw. Here we can draw. So, infinite number of tangents can be drawn in a circle. Next, third question. A tangent PQ at a point P of a circle of radius 5 cm meets a line through the center O at a point Q so that OQ equals 12 cm. Find the length PQ. So, here the question is a tangent PQ at a point P of a circle. So, we have to mark a point P. We have to draw a tangent. So, tangent is a line which is touching the circle at 1 point. So, from here we will draw a tangent. So, tangent from a point P, radius 5 cm, meets a line through the center O at a point Q so that OQ is 12 cm. Now, we will draw the radius 5 cm. radius 5 centimeter. Center of the circle is O, radius 5 centimeter. I'll read. A tangent PQ at a point. Now where is tangent PQ? Here is the point Q. So at a point P of a circle. So P should be on the circle of radius 5 centimeter. Radius of the circle is 5 centimeter. Means a line through the center O at a point Q. So that OQ equals 12 centimeter. This is 12 centimeter. We have to find the length PQ. What is the length of the tangent PQ? Now we learned the theorem that radius at the point of contact is perpendicular to the tangent. Tangent radius always will be perpendicular. Perpendicular means angle will be 90 degree. So here if it is 90 degree means what type of triangle is POQ? It's a right angle triangle. In a right angle triangle, already we learned last year how to apply Pythagoras theorem. So here angle P is equal to 90 degree, which is the hypotenuse. OQ is the hypotenuse. So in triangle POQ, OQ square is equal to OP square plus PQ square. We have to find the length of the tangent PQ. Pythagoras theorem. Now OQ is 12. 12 square equals 5 square plus PQ square. 144 is equal to 25 plus PQ square. We'll subtract 144 minus 25 is equal to PQ square. Therefore, PQ square is equal to 13 minus 11. PQ square is equal to 119. Therefore, PQ is equal to square root of 119 centimeter. So, the length of the tangent is 119 centimeter. The next question is, draw a circle and two lines parallel to the given line such that one is a tangent and another is a secant to the circle. Draw a circle and two lines parallel to a given line such that one is a tangent and the other a secant to the circle. So here I have drawn a circle here. Two lines parallel to a given line such that one should be a tangent and another should be a secant. So if you want, we can draw like this parallel, or here you can draw. So if I draw a line here, so this is the given line. So AB is the given line. To this line, we have to draw one secant and one tangent which are parallel to this line AB. So here I will draw the tangent. So here PQ is a tangent. Point of contact, let me write R. So tangent which is parallel to the given line. Now we have to draw one secant. So here I will draw XY is the secant. XY is the secant. So secant and tangent both are parallel to the given line. If you want, you can draw like this straight. Here we can draw a line, tangent here and secant here. So as I told you, how many tangents you can draw from a point on a circle? So if you mark a point here, how many tangents we can draw here? Only one tangent. Only one tangent. So at a point on a circle, we can draw only one tangent. So P is the point of contact, AB is the tangent. Suppose if I mark a point inside the circle, can we draw a tangent? No, it is not possible. Because if you draw a line through this point, inside the point, then it will become a secant. It will cut the circle into 2 points. So at a point in a circle, we can draw only one tangent. If the point is inside the circle, we cannot draw a tangent. Now, if the point is outside the circle, external point to this circle, how many tangents maximum we can draw? So P is the point outside the circle. How many tangents we can draw? Maximum we can draw 2 tangents. That is one like this and another one like this. So PA and PB are the tangents. So at a point, one tangent we can draw in a circle. From an external point to the circle, we can draw maximum 2 tangents. If the point is inside the circle, we cannot draw a tangent. Next theorem, theorem 4.2 in your textbook. This theorem is very important for 3 marks. This theorem is repeatedly asked in your final, not only final exam, in all the exams. It's a very important theorem and very easy theorem to learn. So the theorem says that the length of the tangent drawn from an external point to a circle are equal. Now we already learned that how many tangents we can draw from an external point? 2 tangents. So both the tangents drawn from the external point are equal. We have to prove. So we have to draw a circle. Now we have to draw the circle. So here, what is the data or given? Given that O is the center of the circle. O is the center. P is the external point. P is the external point. PA and PB are the tangents. PA and PB are the tangents. What are given? That we will write it as data or given. O is the center of the circle. P is the external point. PA and PB are the tangents. What we have to prove? We have to prove that these 2 tangents are equal. So to prove PA equals PB. For this, we have to do some construction. That is, we have to draw the radii. Both the radii we have to draw. OA and OB. OA and OB. Then we have to join O and P. So construction is join OA, OB and OP. Join OA, OB and OP. So once again I will repeat. Given O is the center of the circle, P is the external point, PA and PB are the tangents. We have to prove that these 2 tangents are equal. PA equals PB. For that, construction is join OA, OB and OP. Now we will write the proof. So when you write the proof, we will write 2 columns. One is statement and another is reason. Statement and reason. So here what we have to do is, we have to prove that here there are 2 triangles. One is AOP and another is BOP. We have to prove that these 2 triangles are congruent by one of the postulate which already we learned. So we will start in triangle AOP and triangle BOP. In triangle AOP and triangle BOP. First we will write OA is equal to OB. What is OA and OB? They are the radius of the circle. Radius will be equal. OA equals OB. Reason we will write radii. Plural of radius. Next we will write OP. For both the triangle, OP is a common side. So we will write OP is equal to OP. Common side, or just write common. Common side. Next we will write one important data, that is here OA is the radius. What is AP? AP is the tangent. What is A? A is the point of contact. What we learned in the first theorem, radius and the tangent are always perpendicular at the point of contact. So what will be angle OAP? It will be 90 degree. Similarly, what about angle OBP? That is also 90 degree because OB is the radius and PB is the tangent. always radius and tangent will be perpendicular. So the next point we have to write is angle OAP is equal to angle OBP is equal to 90 degree. Reason we can write theorem, or radius and the tangent are perpendicular to each other. Radius and tangent are perpendicular to each other. Are perpendicular to each other. Or just write theorem. So here we proved OA is equal to OB, radii, OP is equal to OP, common. Angle OAP is equal to angle OBP, radius and tangent are perpendicular. Two sides and one right angle. What can we write? How the triangles are congruent? Triangle AOP is congruent to triangle BOP by which postulate? RHS postulate. What is RHS postulate? Right angle, hypotenuse and one side. Which is a right angle? A and B are right angle. Which is a hypotenuse? OP is the hypotenuse opposite to 90 degree angle, and one side we have taken as radius. So RHS triangles are congruent. Once the triangles are congruent, we can say that PA is equal to PB. What reason we will write? CPCT. What is CPCT? Corresponding parts of the congruent triangle. If the sides are equal, we will write corresponding parts of the congruent triangle. I think you understood this theorem. Very easy theorem. I think almost all of you learn now itself. Because very simple and every year frequently asked question. So here only we have to prove that the triangles are congruent by RHS postulate. It is very important. Don't write SAS postulate. That's all for today. I hope you understood both the theorems. Thank you, children.